I would like to have a parliamentary inquiry.
City Attorney?
City Attorney. I'm being informed by the mayor that they have to agree to what questions I ask. How is it that I can ask two questions of the same, of all the people, but somehow I have to get their concurrence to ask my questions? Is that correct?
You all have to agree to each other's questions. So, I mean, it sounded like they
There's
were in
no-
concurrence with the two questions you just identified.
Do we each have veto power over the other's
At the
questions?
end, we, as a majority of the council, have to agree upon the
Yes.
questions that are being asked tonight, then we can proceed.
Yes, as the majority of the council has to identify the group of questions that will be asked of the candidates. So
Do they have to agree to the specific questions?
you should identify who's going
Not
to get which
should,
question.
do we have to
Yes.
agree to this? So 3 votes can force my questions to be changed. Is that what you're saying?
3 votes can force anyone's question to be changed, but
No. I disagree. All right, but I will ask my colleagues. You know what 2 questions I want to ask. Where do you guys stand?
Councilmember Leone.
I don't like your question,
I didn't ask that.
but I think you have the right to ask it. And so I would support your right to ask it, even though I disagree with the form of the question.
I would say I have concerns with how the question is stated because, and again, it was a long question, so I don't remember it all, but I believe the premise of the question is that the third runner-up should be the appointee, the de facto appointee, and we don't have anything like that in our city policy, nor did people know whenever they were voting in the election that there even would be an opening. We had no idea whether or not Assemblymember Grayson would be successful. So my concern is that the way you're stating the question, it's already biased that the third runner-up should be the appointee. So that's my concern, because I understand that's your position, but that's not necessarily the position of the council. It's not the position of the council.
Councilmember Birsan, or Vice Mayor Birsan.
Thank you for answering their question. I want to hear that answer from them. And furthermore, remember, we are going to be appointing and voting on someone who's going to be sitting here who will be voting on that exact same ordinance. And I want to know, and I think the people have a right to know, the thousands and thousands of people who voted for one or the other need
Okay,
to know.
I'm gonna have to call this back because you're getting waylaid. There is no ordinance that's been presented before the city council. You're speculating, and tonight's meeting is to discuss what questions we want to ask the candidates. And it may be better, and I'm not saying I agree with the question just yet, that it's maybe brought more simpler terms, is should the city council automatically appoint the next highest vote getter if there was a vacancy on the council, should the circumstance occur? Is that pretty much the context? Without getting into all of who got what and everything, you're just asking, should the council automatically appoint the next runner-up?
If that's the question, I would be supportive of that without mentioning names or specific elections. So I would be supportive of that more general question being asked.
Are you okay with that, Councilmember Leone?
Yes.
Okay, so we have concurrence on those 2 questions, and I believe you want to ask them. Is that correct, Vice Mayor?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
I would also like to note for the record that I totally oppose the concept that members of a council can dictate what the questions are of an elected official. I believe that this is in gross violation of the Constitution and of proper protocol within a jurisdiction.